Rightio, you lot. Good morning, happy Sunday, because today's a Sunday morning, and let's have a little look at the Savage project Savage, whatever you want to call it. So we're at a stage now where the engine is ready to go into this car, more or less. But let's have a look to see what else we've got first. I've got me brand new battery to put in the receiver. I've got a servo saver so that I can put the servo back in for the steering, and we'll have steering, throttles and all of that. I did have brand new servos. You're probably thinking, where's the brand new servos? Well, another project has come along which I didn't intend on even getting. The opportunity come along for another project, so the servos are going to go into that little project. So I'm going to put the original servo back in, seeing as there was nothing wrong with it, and the problem lied with the servo saver. So that's all very well and good, and you're probably thinking to yourself, why don't you just put that in there? Why are you messing around with the engine? Well, I like engines, so I want to do the engine. The engine is here, but you're probably thinking, what engine have you got? And I'm deliberately talking a lot to put it off, because I'm just an idiot. That's why. Now, honestly, I wanted to do something that was a bit different, something that no one's done yet, because I know no one would have done it, because the engine's brand spanking new, and no one would have had a chance to do it yet, and I wanted to do it first. That was my plan. But you lot, you know how it goes. Sometimes things just don't work out, and then the other project that come along, the engine I was going to get for the Savage is now going to go in the other project, and so I thought to myself, because the engine I wanted to get a Nova B5R. I wanted to put that in it, the new version, right? No one would have put one of them in a Savage before, and everyone who would have seen my Savage would have just gone, that is completely pointless. Why are you putting a racing buggy engine in a Savage? That is completely pointless, unnecessary waste of money. And that's what I want to do. A complete unnecessary waste of money. So, but it hasn't happened. But I went to the one and only place where you can buy Nova engines. The one and only place you should go. You can buy them anywhere else. And that's Answer RC. I went there, had a chat with him, had a chat with old Pete. Good old bloke, knows his stuff. Worked out all the ways we could put a B5 or an Nova engine in the Savage. I did, worked it out, ways of starting it up, all that kind of stuff. And then this project come along, so I thought, right, let's have a look at other engines for Savages. And I got one. It's more tried and tested. People have put them in Savages before, so it's not going to be unique, but I think it's going to be good fun, and it'll look cool as well. So underneath this little pile of stickers is what we have. Simple LRP engine. You probably all saw it coming anyway. You probably all just thought he's just going to get one of these regardless of any other thing. So this is what I've got. ZR32, got the Spec 4 with a pull start. 4.3 horsepower, 4.37 horsepower, 33,000 RPM, just over. There we go. There's any specifications for anyone who wants to know the specifications, but these engines are quite old now. Everybody I would have thought would know exactly what they are. When was this particular one made? I don't know, it probably doesn't say, but it's got 2020 on the box, copyright 2020, so I'm pretty happy with what I had to choose. Let's get it out of this bubble wrap. These are a good engine, I know there's people out there that don't like them, there's people out there that like Pico, there's people out there that like all the other engines, but it's a nice engine, and I'm pretty happy with that. I chose this particular one. It ain't far off the price of a B5R. It would have been nice to be able to get one in, but to be honest, you lot, the fact that I've got one of these now, and that's going in there, doesn't mean that I'm not going to put a B5R in the Savage in the future. As I said, I was planning it. I nearly bought the engine. I was that close to buying a B5R to put in it, and I had everything worked out the way to start it, because obviously you can't put a pull start on them. I discussed with Pete, actually, you could you need to find someone that's got the right equipment to modify the crankshaft so you can put the little pull start pin in, and then you could bolt a pull start to the back of it and you could have a pull start B5R. But it's finding someone that can do that modification. If any of you lot know anyone, or you are a person that can do that modification to the crank, did I say the crank? Yeah, that's right. to do that modification, then let me know, because if you can do that modification, I'll buy a B5R, send it to you, you can do that modification, and then I'll have a pull start B5R and we'll stick it in there. But the other thing is, I was working out ways, you know, of getting to the flywheel. I was going to cut a slot out, I was going to modify where the exhaust goes, I was going to cut a slot out in the frame, and I was going to have a rubber wheel on a drill, and I was going to put it here and go, you know. I had loads of different ways. The other one was I was going to get an electric motor. You know, like on the T-Maxes and things like that, the Traxxas, they got their own electric starter motor, haven't they? And you put the starter wand thing in here, like that. Well, I was going to do a similar thing with, if I managed to get, if I put a B5R in here, I was going to have a little electric motor somewhere. I was going to work it out, maybe move the tank, put it next to the engine, and have like a roto start system, but with its own little electric motor. That's what I was going to do. But as I said, another project come along. So now I'm just going to get a B5R eventually and put that in the other project. And this ZR32 is going in the Savage. And you might be wondering, what exhaust have you got? You haven't got an exhaust yet. No, I haven't got an exhaust yet. I've got an exhaust on the way. I bought it from an English company. And it's not too far from here, but it's going to take like 2 weeks to get here. I don't know what that's all about. If they're sending it from China, I won't be very happy. And if it turns up and it's got China customs stuff on it, I'll be sending it straight back, because I don't want that. I want a genuine exhaust. I bought one. I say, when it turns up, you'll see what it is. It's the biggest bore exhaust I could find, and it's also quite an old-fashioned exhaust. They look ugly, as you can imagine, but they're so big in bore. The performance is, you know, it outweighs the ugliness, if you know what I mean. Anyway, you're probably thinking as well, alright, what about clutch? You got a clutch on here, or a flywheel. What are you going to do there? Well, my friends, because I got this engine from Answer RC, they were kind enough to give me a really good deal on this engine. They got it in as a special order, because they don't actually sell these engines. So I said, right, well, alright, you got me an engine. I need a clutch, and I need a flywheel, and I also need a bell end. Don't call them bell ends when you speak to shops. I'm only joking, you lot. Some of you people call them bell ends, didn't you? They're called bells, clutch bells. Don't go in a shop and ask for a bell end, because you'll get laughed at the shop. Anyway, a bell end is the end of your dick, in case you didn't know. Americans out there, well. So I've got what have I got? Oh my god, funny man. Right, I've got here 4-shoe flywheel, the shoes, Reds Racing clutch shoes. This is an Answer RC flywheel, by the way, in case you didn't know, for the clutch. And we got some Answer springs. So that's going to be our clutch. Now, they didn't have in stock any bells that would have, well, they would fit, but the right teeth amount. So my plan for now is I'm just going to take the bell off of this one and stick that on here. It should fit perfectly fine. There's no reason why it won't. And then when I find how many teeth I want, I'm going to get myself a vented one, probably a Reds one, or maybe an Answer one if they've got this back in stock. I think they're having trouble getting stock at the moment. So yeah, so that'll be all that sorted out. All right then, let's unbolt this engine, and we can. Well, I'm going to bolt it in now. I'll have to unbolt it when I get the exhaust on. The only thing is, I might have to reuse this manifold. Might have to clean it up and use it, because the manifold that I've bought, because well, you can buy different types, but the exhaust pipe that I've bought comes with the manifold. I bought the whole set, and it comes round like that, and I think it's going to end up hitting this suspension. It's going to end up hitting the shock. There's several ways. I could remove one shock and have you know, only 2, but then the suspension will be saggy when it's not really going to work. I could do that though, probably. I don't think it would hit that bit of plastic in there. I think it just hit this shock. So, but I think what I'm probably going to have to do is just use this Savage manifold. The only issue with that is the way that it connects. The way it connects is springs, and this Savage manifold ain't springs. We'll come to that when we get there. That'll be something I can work out there and then. But let's get this engine bolted in, and we can see what the engine's going to look like. Let's get the clutch put together, put the clutch on the engine and all that other bollocks. And yeah, man, and then I'll put the servo in and the servo saver, and then we'll be ready for an exhaust. And then after that, we'll be ready to give it a test. And yeah, man, right, we're happy. Let's get going. Rightio, you lot. So there we go. Got our clutch all installed, put on there. Now there was a bit of a gap. The reason for that is the flywheel itself. I don't think it's necessary, but I'll explain to you lot. I don't know, just some of you lot like technical details and other people don't, so I'll explain some of it. The flywheel come with its own collar. That's the one the flywheel came with, but that don't fit over the crankshaft. It's just too small. Luckily, the engine in the box comes with a collar, and that obviously fits perfectly fine over the crankshaft. Now, the flywheel does fit over, but it only goes that far. So I'll put the nut on. I've done it up nice and tight, and we'll have to see if that gap does cause any issues. It's obviously supposed to be a bit closer than that to the block, but hopefully we'll still be able to get the bell end on and put the screw in the end that comes with it, obviously, without any issues, and that gap won't cause a problem. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But anyway, let's get this other engine out, bolt this one in, see what it looks like, match it up, and hopefully, we'll get the bell on it as well, and see what we'll go from there. Oh, that reminds me, quickly, something I need to mention, because I get a lot of messages asking about Savages and how you get the engines out. When I say a lot, I mean literally I've had like 10 messages since I started doing a Savage build. I've had like 10 messages from different people asking, how would you get a Savage engine out? You can't get to the bolts. Well, you can. And look, if you haven't got this, if you've got one of these, you need to unbolt it and remove it to the side. If you haven't got one, because they don't come with them standard, you don't need to do nothing. Or you've got that bolt there and that bolt there you can get to easily. But the other two, you might be thinking, well, I can't get to them, I've got to remove all of this. No, you haven't got to remove all of that. You got that hole there, that goes straight in to that, where is it? To that bolt there. That goes straight down. Let me show you. Straight down to that bolt there, no problem. Then that other bolt which is there, you got this hole here. That goes straight in. You can't see, can you? You can't see bloody nothing. But anyway, trust me, that goes straight into that bolt. You might be thinking, well, I don't want to take the engine mounts out, I just want to take the engine out. Yeah, but you can't get to those screws because the chassis is in the way of those ones that hold down. So to take a Savage engine out, you have to take the mounts out as well. You've got to take these bolts out, and then the engine just comes out. It's quite easy. You don't have to remove all of this rubbish here. You just get that in there. Bob's your uncle and Fanny is your aunt, alright? That's it, there we go. Oh, we're still connected to one pipe here. Get that off of there. There we go, one old Savage engine. It's a 3.5. Hot bodies 3.5. Yeah. There we go, folks. Hot bodies like 3.5. So, yeah. Nice. All I've got to do is take the mounts off, put the mount on that one, and then hopefully we'll fit straight in, and take the bell off, put the bell on it. See how many teeth it is as well, because I want to see if I can get... I want a vented one. You lot might have known by now, you might have realised by now, I do this all my life, not just with Nitro RC cars. I've always done things like this, where I like to get things that shouldn't really go on other stuff and put them on there. You know, real car life. I had my first car, second car, was a Mark 1 Citroen Saxo, and I made it rally car basically. I put rally, bought a VTR engine another engine, built it all up with forged pistons, light and flywheel, light and crank, high lift cams and all that kind of stuff, all from a rally spec. Put it on, I had a rally car. Then I had a Mark 1 Focus RS, build number 4500, saved up like crazy, bought that, crazy, saved up like crazy. What's that all about? Bought that, made that into a rally car as well, because it was completely knackered when I bought it. I bought it off some drug dealers in Bradford, and that wasn't as Bedford. And they had completely run it into the ground, so I put high lift cams in that, more forged pistons because it come with them standard. Anyway, in the end of it, I had a 430 horsepower rally car, Mark 1 Focus RS. I put a 6-pedal clutch in it, I put all different suspension in it, stuff that people were like, why are you putting that rally stuff on a road car? Because I want to. You know what I mean? Are you going to rally it? No. Are you going to race it? No. Why you done it? Because I like it. Shouldn't go on the car, but I like it. So this is what I do. I want to put stuff that shouldn't go on stuff on more stuff, which is why I've got Red's clutch, you know, buggy flywheel for, you know, everything shouldn't go on things like this, which is why I wanted to put a buggy racing engine in this, because it shouldn't go in there. And people are like, why are you doing that? It's a waste of money and waste of time. Pointless. But I like it, you know. Servos, I wanted to put racing buggy servo. I got talked out of it in the end by Alistair. Good old Alistair, probably saved me a lot of money. But I wanted to put them in there because they shouldn't go in there, should they? It's like going against the grain. And yeah, anyway. So I want to get myself a vented bell to go on that. But for now, we'll put this standard bell on there. And we'll put this engine in. And, yeah, that'll look pretty cool, won't it, eh? That'll look pretty cool. Right, let's take more stuff apart. So, the next thing, and I thought this might be a problem, but I was just going to wing it and see how it goes for now. But the next thing is, you'll probably see it coming as well. This is the standard bell that come off of that 3.5 engine. Stick that on here, and it's not deep enough. It doesn't go all the way down, doesn't cover all of the clutch shoes. Camera, focus. My camera's not fancy, you can't talk to it and tell it what to do. Focus, camera. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't go all the way down. So I need to wait for Answer RC to get some bells in stock with the right amount of teeth. Or I could just go there now and buy one. This is an 18 tooth bell. And this is a 49 tooth spur. I want to change this to a hard metal one, by the way. Some of you are probably going to say, you're going to need a metal one. I know that. I'm going to get one. I just wanted to see what tooth this one was and decide whether I want to go down teeth or stay with the teeth that it's got on it. I think probably I'm going to leave the plastic one on it though until it strips and then put the metal one on. But I'm going to buy a metal one anyway, so I can just put it straight on once this one strips. Because it probably will. These plastic ones, they're alright, but as soon as you start putting higher power engines in, they'll strip out easier. Anyway, this is 18 teeth. Now they've got in stock, now I can't remember what they got in stock, I think 13 and 14, I think. Oh, well, anyway, I can't remember. They've got lesser tooth bells in stock right now I could go and buy. What do I do? Do I go down some teeth? Or do I get one that's 18? You can see that there, look. 18 tooths. 18 and a 49. I could go down. We could gear it up, or we could gear it down. We could just experiment. We could just experiment and see what happens. I could go now and I could buy, well, even like a 13, that's a lot of teeth missing if I get a 13 tooth. Let me decide what I'm going to do. You're more than welcome to put in the comments what you think I should do, but I will warn you, because some of you do get a bit disgruntled when you put something in the comments and then in the next video I've done the opposite. The reason for that is, a lot of the time these videos aren't live, like obviously not live, but they're not in real time sort of thing. So you might watch this video, it might go live 5 or 6 days after I've filmed it, in which case I've already come up with a solution. So please don't get disgruntled if you put in the comments something and I've done the opposite and you're like, I told you to do this. Well, you told me to do it, but I'd already done something before you told me to do it, alright? Anyway, put in the comments what you think I should do. It's interesting to see your opinions and your thoughts. Should I get another 18 tooth, but I'll have to get a fatter one somehow that will fit and cover up all the clutch shoes, or I could just go now and buy a Reds one and 13 tooth, 14, 15, whatever tooth they have, I don't know, lesser teeth, and go from there and get a spur to match. Put it in the comments, you lot. Right, so I've just had a small think. I know you lot are probably shouting at the screen by now and all this kind of stuff. Just a small think what I'm going to do, because if I have less teeth on the bell, I'll have more torque but less speed. But then I might be able to counteract that by getting a tooth spur, because if you have less teeth on the spur, you get more speed. If you have more teeth on the spur, you get more torque. It's the opposite with the bell. If you have less teeth on the bell, you get more torque, and more teeth on the bell, you get more speed. So I'm thinking, I don't really want this thing to do fast things, you know what I mean? I'm not bothered about the speed that it'll go. I like torque. I like acceleration. Quick acceleration. I don't do speed runs. That is for gays. So I think I'm going to get myself a 13 tooth bell, and we'll just see what happens. Hopefully, I don't know if it will mesh properly with this one. Probably won't mesh properly because there's quite a lot of teeth missing, but we'll see what happens. You know, it's all trial and error, and we'll see how that goes. As I said, I'm going to order a hardened steel spur anyway, so I'm just going to get a lesser tooth one as well. So we'll end up with a slower truck, but it'll look cool and it'll be really fast on acceleration. We've just got to be careful we don't kill the gearbox and the diffs with all the torque. But that's another bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right, so let's take the engine mounts off of that, put them on this one. I'll order the bell, and hopefully that'll be here in a few days, and then we'll go from there. Nice. So the next thing we've got to try and work out how to do is to get the engine in there. Reason being is it doesn't actually fit in here. It's too big to fit in. The pull start hits on that, and the bell hits on that because it's too long. So just to see, I took the pull start off of it, and I took the roto start off of this old engine to see whether it fit on here, because it's not quite as fat. But on this engine, the back plate is bigger, so the roto start doesn't fit. The holes don't line up. And yeah, I could probably drill some new holes and do that, but I'm not going to go drilling holes in the back plate of my brand new engine just yet. We're going to see if I can work out another solution. I think I'm going to try and work out, see if I can get it to go in with the pull start on. Might have to do some, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest with you. Might have to, I could take some of this out. This is just part of the structure. Don't worry about that. I'll be fine without that. No, I don't know yet. I'm going to work that out and try and get around that. The other option is, well, the other thing is, because this flywheel and bell stick out a lot further, because the flywheel doesn't go all the way on the collar there, and also when I don't forget, when I get the new bell, it will be further in anyway. I think what I might do before I go doing any radical changes here, I'm just going to mess around with the collar, try and get grind some off of it, you know what I mean, shave it down a bit, and get the flywheel to sit further back on the crankshaft. And then when I get my new bell, when that arrives in the post, that will go on there, and this whole, the flywheel and bell situation should be further towards the engine, and then hopefully that will slot in there nicely, and the pull start will just miss this piece of plastic there. Anyway, that's where we're at so far, and that's where I'm going to leave it for this video, because I've got loads of other stuff to do. It's a Sunday, but I've got 1,000,001 things to do. I've got to go and get the food shopping. I've got to go and watch my daughter's gymnastics competition, which I'm very excited about, because she's bloody good at gymnastics and she'll win that competition without a doubt. Anyway, Sunday, so we've all got stuff to do. I'll catch you later on. Thanks for watching. Any comments you put in the comments will be massively appreciated for me and for other people to learn from. But as I say, please don't get disgruntled if you suggest something and it doesn't get done in the next video, because as I said, by the time you've watched this, it goes live, I've probably done some stuff and started filming another video, because I don't always upload them immediately after filming. Sometimes they're a few days late. Thanks for watching. Treat each other with respect and love life. Ciao for now.